What's up everyone out there in YouTube land? This is Perry Lovewhistle, and I am back on my Ranger on Project 1999. And I've got a couple of updates to talk about before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of today's video. First of all, I've finally finished leveling in the Temple of Kazakthul. You'll notice I am level 45. Just barely in 45, which means if I die, I'll be obviously back at 44. Even a res is not going to put me back into here. So I'm in a hell level. But the plus side to 45 is I can now use my Toland's Darkwood Helm, which is good because Superior Camouflage can be cast inside, which is going to be really important for the first part of today's video, which I'll talk about in a second. Also, being level 45 means I can no longer use my Sword of Skyfire because it's a melee weapon with an AoE proc, and the proc starts at 45, which is why it's a newbie weapon. So, Bullet Crazy, Willoughbyk, if you're out there, I am done with your sword, and we got to get in touch so I can give it back to you. In the meantime, if I'm in a group and need to not pull aggro, I'll be using my Orc Impaler, which is my next best weapon that I have. Also, big shout out, a viewer of the channel showed up when I was in Kazakthul and gifted me a Rubicite breastplate. Apparently the downtimes during streams were too painful to watch, so she wanted to give me something that'll help me naturally regen a little bit. This is awesome. These do not drop anymore, and this is a very generous donation. So when I am done with this, someday, in a year or so when I get a better breastplate, I'm definitely going to be giving that one back. Also, Rafaela is from Castle. If you've watched a lot of this series, you know that I have been helped out by members of Castle several times over the course of this playthrough, and this is just another great representation of that guild out here being generous, doing good stuff. But that is the upgrades to my gear for now. So now you'll notice that I am back on the bridge in Eastern Wastes. The other thing about the breastplate is it is red. So with all of my green armor with this red breastplate, I am officially doing the Christmas elf thing. Living my Christmas elf truth right now. Oh, the other thing, and it's been a couple of weeks, but I haven't filmed a video since before this. They finally put the new spells in, so I have access to Panic Animal. So people have been telling me for several videos now, go Fear Kite, and I couldn't because Panic Animal wasn't in yet for Rangers. Now it is, so when I get into the Wakening lands, I will try to Fear Kite Tiger Raptors. That is the long and short of today's video. So I will be headed through Kale Drakal into the Wakening lands. And this is also, this is exciting for me for two reasons. One, I haven't ever actually done any leveling in Wakening lands. And two is this is where a lot of the lore of Velios starts to pop out. So in the pamphlet that I talked about in the last couple of videos, there was one recovered letter, supposedly, that had somebody who went to the Coldane city. There was another one from somebody who ended up at the Giant City, and it was from a barbarian. And there's the lore of the Giant City goes back to a bunch of pre-established Everquest lore. So one of the fun things about Everquest is the giants, all the giants and the ogres were supposedly back in the early days of Norath were all really smart and very industrious and also giant and strong. And as a result, they were the first races to break into the plains and fight the gods. And as a result, there was the curse of Zek. All of Zek's children's got cursed to be dumb. And that's why the ogres are dumb, and that's why the giants are back on the original 3 continents and even Kunark, the giants are spread out. They don't really have a city. But in Valios, the giants were protected from the curse of Zek, supposedly, which is why they have a city. The only giant city as of Valios expansion is this one in Kale Drakal. The closest thing to it would be Permafrost, which isn't so much a city as it is sort of remnants of ice giants just hanging out. And there was the other letter was from another human that talks about getting into the Wakening lands, sneaking through the giant city, which is what we're going to do, and getting into the Wakening lands. And he was accompanied by Tolan, Tolan of the Tolan's Darkwood armor set. And there was no letter from Tolan discovered, but at the end of the letter from the human, I think it was a monk from Freeport, he talked about how Tolan was sticking around in the Wakening lands because something great was happening, and he was going to continue west. And obviously a ranger would be really excited in the Wakening lands because that is where the plane of growth access is, and there is a lot of stuff directly affecting or affected by Tunair there. So anyhow, we're back here. Here is Kale Drakal. So for people who have not gone through Kale to get their Wakening Lands Claw, supposedly, according to the wiki, nothing on the path straight through sees invis. So if you've got access to your own invis, like I do, you can get through. And this is where my helmet clicky becomes really useful, because superior camouflage can be cast indoors. Camouflage can't. Oh, and the other really cool thing about Kale is this expansion was the Scars of Valios, right? So supposedly when Vishan first put life on Norath, she actually struck Norath with her claw. And you can see from the map, the promo map of this expansion, this continent has 3 big claw marks in it. And the biggest one has 2 cities, one at each end. On one end it's got Kale, and on the other end it's got Sky Shrine. And in the middle of it is the Wakening Lands, which is kind of cool. That it would mean that Tunair came behind Vishan and put her plane in the scar left by Vishan here, which is another cool, just extra lore thing. So before I head in, I'm going to stop here for a second, make sure I've got the map up, because supposedly nothing on the path straight through sees invis. But I am obviously really nervous, again, because if I die in Kale, 2 bad things happen. Number 1, I can't cast superior camouflage anymore. And number 2, even if you're invis, dragging corpses causes aggro from some mobs in Kale, which means corpse recovery in the city is a huge pain. So I'm going to recast my Spirit of the Wolf and recast my Superior Camouflage. And I've got Root up. So I've got a good clear plan on how I'm going to get through here. Alright. First really scary part of the video. Oh. Alright, here we go. Excellent. So there is actually someone right inside. Nice and scary. I'm sure that's a quest NPC. Okay. Oh man, there was a whole bunch more that I just walked right by. Okay. Okay. Pretty sure I need to go through this little cave here. Okay. So that should be the noble building, which means there should be a ramp right here. Steer clear of that building because I don't know what's inside of it. Well, that's kind of scary. Well, it looks like SEAL Team and Kingdom are getting ready to do something. Alright, and now here we are. Oh, I was unprepared for this. The Wakening Lands has Kelethan music in it. That's awesome. Okay, so I got some frost giants over here, ripe for the killing. And I am going to sit down for a second and recover. Make sure I've got everything I need to start running around the Wakening Lands. Alright, Wakening Lands is a really cool zone for a couple of reasons at my level. Number one, there's lots of great stuff for me to potentially hunt here. There's also some good quests, and there is a tooth here that will trump my Great Divide Tooth and allow me to teleport back to the Wakening Lands, which is important that I get it because if I die, getting back through Kale will be a lot more stressful than the first time. So the first thing I'm going to do is head there, which is a matter of coming out of here and hugging this left wall. Something that is important about the Wakening lands, first of all, make sure that you have sea invisibility, which again I only just have now because they just put that patch in, because there are invisible haze panthers. I don't think there's any this way. I think they're north in the zone. But also keeping basically sea invis, and some sort of speed enhancement up is really important coming through here, and I will keep tracking up. The other thing that's important is knowing whether or not the dragon is up, because the porting ring, man, this place is huge. Okay. The porting ring can be guarded by an incredibly dangerous dragon named Wooshi, who apparently will just wreck house. So, you know, if you get teleported to Wakening Lands, you don't have to go through Kale, but you do have to port in right next to a dragon. So there is the dragon ring. I checked tracking one more time just in case. Looks like someone just ported a bunch of people in, probably headed into Kale. And there is my claw. Excellent. So now I'm set in the event that I die. So let's start looking around this zone. Well, it looks like I'm not headed east. Somebody has got a train going to Kale. So I will continue counterclockwise. And actually, I kind of want to see... So the Drixie's in here. There's a lot of stuff that's on Tunair faction, which I should be... Yeah. So the Drixie's like me, and I imagine there's a bunch of stuff towards the middle of the zone that also likes me. But I'm going to keep my superior camouflage up as I head west. I'm going to keep my camouflage up, I said. It might be superior camouflage, but it is still ranger invisibility. So over here on the other side of this little alcove is the entrance into the Geonid Caverns, which is a great place to level like on into the 50s, I want to say. They're on the same faction as the Geonids in Crystal Caverns, but there are Targus in here that are aggro, or will aggro, and the Geonids will help them. And there's, looks like 3 entrances into the Geonid Caverns. A frost giant sentry standing over a wounded storm giant. I know that that is quest related, but not a quest that I will probably be doing. Well, all the way in the southwest corner of the zone is a cave that supposedly has a couple of named Hulgresh in it, and I thought that this is where the camp was for the Hulgresh Elder Beads. Which, if that was the case, there would always be someone camping here. So I need to do a little bit more research before I start begging to loot dead Hulgreshes. This is also where I will be coming to kill tiger raptors. So there's 2 things that I need to pick up here before I move west. One is a tiger raptor gut, and one is a strong wooden branch which drops off of Hulgreshes, because that is needed for a quest back in Iceclad, which is the main thing that I'm hoping to accomplish today. There's also a lot of other quests in Wakening Lands that are best done post 50. So I will be coming back here to do those things. They involve the Tunarian court right in the middle of the zone. And over here on the west end of the zone is a dragon Rolandal. Let me double check here. Let's see, he is a quest giver. He's on Claws of Vishon and Jelinek faction, so I'm kind of curious about what my consider is for him. Oh, good. Superior Camouflage is dropping anyway. And he does not like me. I actually got turned around. The named dragon is actually north of the Sky Shrine entrance, and that's actually where I was headed. So the far west of the zone here, we've got the Sky Shrine entrance, and just outside of it, you can see a couple of tiger raptors up here on the hill. And this is actually where I was planning on hunting. Apparently you've got to use Harmony to break this, and these guys run fast, so it's not going to be easy to kite them. But my plan is to hang out here and kill these guys, at least for a little bit, while seeing if anybody's killing the Hulgresh. So that means that what I thought was the Hulgresh cave was not. It was another entrance to the Geonid caverns, which makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I wasn't all the way into the Hulgresh alcove over there. So maybe I will get called over there. Maybe I can help break a camp with my awesome ranger spells and get a strong wooden branch as a reward. Alright, now it's time to see if I'm going to see if I can kill this tiger raptor by kiting it around this little area right here. Seems like it's nice and clear. So let's see what we can do. Oh, never mind. Didn't work. That's what I get for not using Harmony first. Okay, so tiger raptors are not the biggest threat that I've ever faced. It is very annoying that they're so fast, though, because it means that I've pretty much constantly got to be turning around. Got to time my casting perfectly. And I also don't think that I want to be fear kiting these guys with how fast they run. Well, very killable, if annoying. I'll rest up a little bit, and then maybe see if there's a better way to kill them. Maybe I'll try Fear Animal. Alright, let's try this again. This time we're going to do it properly. Here we go. Let's try and pull him all the way over to here. See if I... Seems like just face tanking might be able to beat him. Yeah, as long as I get some good procs off. Seem to be able to just face tank these guys. Yeah, no need for fear kiting at all. He's hitting for 60, 70. Oh, I didn't even have my Call of Sky up. And here's Rafaela now. She actually just showed up to not give. I'm actually buying this one from her. Toland's Darkwood Vambraces, which on top of being a huge armor class upgrade, are also, they're a clicky Stinging Swarm. So I no longer need to keep Stinging Swarm on my hotbar. And it's another piece of the Toland set, which hopefully I can get the whole set. They're all very useful. Just telling me that now I just need to upgrade my pants. And I will, in time. Well, I just got a tell from a group that is doing the Hallgreshes. I let them know that I was looking for the strong wooden branch, and actually, they're all casters, so they didn't even know what it was for, but they sent me a tell shortly afterwards saying that one had dropped. And there it is. Looks like Moku Boku Jobo Cobb, so thanks a lot. And thanks for the buffs. Well, after what seemed like forever, I finally got my strong raptor gut, which is just about time too, because I am almost out of ammo. I've got 4 arrows left, and I have no inventory space left. So it is time for me to switch from fighting spells to traveling spells and get the heck out of here. Well, all the way back in Ice-Clad Ocean, there are these Snowfang fissures, and I'm not sure if you can use any of them, because it looks like there's 3 of them on this ice floe. But if you talk to them, they talk about how there's some magic thing that they fished up, and it's caused them a lot of problems, and they want a strong offering to give it to you. So that's the strong wooden branch and the strong raptor gut, presumably to make a new fishing pole. Also, that's going to spawn a mob that has to be killed, which is not difficult to kill, but then after it dies, something's going to pop up that you've got to speak to immediately. So you can see that I've got a macro up to complete this part of the quest. So I went onto the wiki, and you've got to say, I want the magic thing. And that's what that is. Oh, looks like it's already up. There he is. And they all join in, but you don't have to loot anything off of this enraged walrus. You just have to kill it. So even if they get the kill, it's fine. The wiki also points out, someone made a comment that if they get the kill, you might still have auto attack on, and you might accidentally attack the quest NPC, so make sure if you don't get the kill, you turn off auto attack before saying, I want the magic thing, to the Snowfang that pops up. Oh, there he is, an agitated Snowfang. I am not auto-attacking. And he gave me Chapter P. Now to run this back over to the pirate camp. And over here you've got Amy standing out front. Talks about how she's reading through how to talk like a pirate. And if you talk to her, she will tell you that Chapter P is missing. Ask her about the grammar manual. She says that there's a chapter missing. You ask her which one, and she says it's Chapter P, and that's what we just got. Give that to her, and you get the pirate grammar manual, which, by the way, you can read. So here's all the text for the pirate grammar manual. If you're interested in that, just pause the video and go back through. And the pirate grammar manual goes to Nilam the chef. And that gets us our Iceforged shackles. Strength, dex, agility, HP, and it's a clicky for Valium shards. That is definitely an upgrade. I'm not sure which of my bracers I want to replace with this, but I'm thinking the granite bracer. Yeah, I'll probably put this on in place of the granite bracer, which means Quinn Laman, if you're out there, let me know when you're online. I'll give you the granite bracer since you helped me get it, and I am replacing it now. But I'm going to do Ice Forge shackles and the hero bracer. But that is it for the Wakening lands, at least for now. I'm going to go back at level 50 and do some of the quests there. Got my Ice Forge shackles, which is the big thing for the first visit there. Big thanks to everyone who came by to help me out. A lot of buffs along the way. But the next challenge is getting into the Cobalt Scar, which there's a couple of different paths I could take, none of which are very easy. So I'm going to spend some time leveling up and working on faction so I can do that. Until next time, bye.